Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is the Dating Chronicles with expert Katrina Valente. We're going to be talking about male versus female, masculine energy versus feminine energy. I get all confused. I don't know about you. That's why we have an expert here. She's joining us from Dubai. Let's welcome her to the program. Hello, welcome.
Hi, good evening.
You're looking quite radiant today, this evening.
I am. I don't know how.
Well, it's probably because you are enjoying what you're doing and it shows.
Yes, that could be the reason. I have been very busy these days. It's all flowing beautifully, I have to say.
Well, for people who haven't met you before, or maybe they saw you on Secrets to Timeless Beauty, tell us about how you have incorporated Secrets to Timeless Beauty and Dating Chronicles all together into a nice package for our audience.
Okay, so I've been a holistic esthetician and therapist for over 28 years now. And I was always very famous for aesthetics and facials and different kinds of healing modalities. But nowadays, I'm focused a lot more on relationship coaching and energy clearing and the lymphatic drainage massage and my famous raindrop massage. So they all come together to look at the mind, body, spirit of a person.
That sounds so delightful. You know, I do have a question for you because this is not on our topic today, but just in general. I've gone in the past for different procedures or treatments like a massage, and afterwards I end up with a sore throat or my head hurts and I just don't feel well. Is that a result of negative energy being released? Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a massage, it stimulates all the blood flow and fresh oxygen to the cells of your body. So it can very well detoxify you. You've also got to be very careful of your practitioner and who you have a treatment with, especially if they're body workers and they're busy, because when you put your hands on someone, you're actually taking their energy. So it's very important that they clean their hands properly, that they're cleansing their energy body on a regular basis, because that energy does get transferred from one person to another.
So, what are some good questions to ask? I mean, you're lying there, you're pretty much naked, you're under that blanket, and they come into the dark room. Do you say, "Hey, did you do any type of clearing? Did you wash your hands?"
You know, a good therapist should wash her hands in front of you, or she should say to you, "I'm just going to wash my hands now."
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's good. All right. So let's get to today's topic. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it is confusing because just because you're a woman, that doesn't mean you don't have masculine energy as well as female energy. But let's kind of break it down for our audience. What is the meaning behind the title of the show for today?
So just lately, I've been talking about the male-female dynamic, and people have been getting confused between the man and the masculine energy and the woman and the female energy. So let me break it down to you. So the man as he stands in human form, is the protector, the provider. He keeps you safe. He is in his masculine energy. That's what a man is. The woman is the nurturer, the soft, loving kindness, the feminine. But feminine and masculine energy is within each and every one of us, whether we're male or female. The masculine energy is what gets you up and gets you going in the morning. It's the all-doing energy. You know, the masculine, the boss-up woman at work, she's the masculine energy. And the feminine energy is the all-receiving energy. It's the softness, it's the allowing, it's the doing nothing, it's the being energy. Got it?
Got it. And can we be in any of these energies for too long of a period? It becomes detrimental.
Yeah. I mean, look, women nowadays are too much like men. They want to be like men, they act like men, and then we wonder why we're all single. It's okay for a woman to bring that masculine energy to work, but when she goes home to her family, she has to bring in that feminine energy again, the nurturing energy, because if she doesn't, she's being a man with a man, and that's where the clash happens, because then she doesn't allow the man to be the man.
That makes a lot of sense. Sorry, I was swallowing some water. I didn't want to choke.
Okay.
So, you know, you and I have discussed this before. I've been in my masculine energy a lot. I think recently I've been in my feminine energy, but I feel that there's this vulnerability when I'm in my female energy, especially as a single person. And I feel more protected and safer when I'm in my masculine energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you see, I was like that for many, many years, and I still struggle with it to a degree. But there's actually power in vulnerability, because when you're really vulnerable, it allows you to open to allow another person in, rather than being in the masculine and keeping the blocks there, keep people at a distance all the time.
Well, okay. What about the fact that when you're your feminine energy and you are vulnerable, that you are an easy target?
Well, that's a perception.
That's true.
Because the feminine energy is actually very powerful. Because if you look at all the women that are truly feminine, I think good examples of that are Goldie Hawn, Kate Hudson, her daughter, Catherine Zeta-Jones, perhaps the actress, is another one. They're very girly, they're very giggly, but they're very powerful with it, and men just love it. They just drop to their knees for women that have this kind of energy. Whereas women like me and you, it's a lot harder, because men look at you and think, well, this woman is so strong, what could I bring to the table that would benefit her? And if the answer is nothing, they're going to walk away.
Yeah, I can think of a long list of things. Maybe I should draw up a list and put it on the front door.
But it really doesn't serve us to be like this all the time. There's a time and a place to bring in the masculine energy, but there has to be balance between the two. And ultimately, we are women, so we should know how to play with the feminine energy, because the feminine energy can bring a lot to the table, and it can get you what you want very easily without having to fight for it like a man.
So when you're working with your clients, do you help them identify which energy they're spending most of their time in and then how they can incorporate the other energy?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's all about their lifestyle, how much responsibility they have, if they're married in the family unit, who does what. You can quickly see where the imbalance is.
Once you realize there is an imbalance, is it sort of like muscle memory? After you get it, you're able to embrace the opposite energy, and it's so I'm just trying to figure out how you stay in what energy when.
Look, when you're at work, you're in the masculine energy because it's the doing energy. When we're working, we have to do, right? We have to be proactive. That is the masculine energy. But when you come home and you're looking after the kids and you're taking care of your husband, that's the feminine energy. So you need to step back from the masculine and allow your husband or your partner to be the man. You are not the man in the relationship. He is. And a lot of women forget that. So they'll stand up to a man, they'll argue with a man, they'll dictate to a man, they'll tell a man what to do. This is all masculine energy. Whereas the woman needs to be, yes, honey, how can I support you? What can I do to make your life easier? To be the loving, nurturing support, because a man has to do everything in his life. He's not allowed to be vulnerable. But if the woman gives him that support that he's missing within himself, then that's where you create the balance.
What I think is really interesting is if you are a single person, as we are, I feel like we have to do everything. So we have to be in the masculine energy probably more than in the feminine energy, because even when we're not working, we're still working.
That's exactly right. And it's very difficult. But I had a beautiful example on the weekend. I went to the beach with my friend and we just kind of made the decision at the last minute. And we went to a hotel because in Dubai, there's not many free beaches. So you have to go and pay and go to a hotel. But the money that you pay to get in, you get back in food. And it was a boutique hotel and there was nice music. There wasn't many kids around. It wasn't too busy. We went for a walk along the beach. And at the end of that day, we were both explaining to each other how much we were enjoying the day. And this masculine energy, a friend of ours came and joined us, and he's very easygoing. And it was just relaxed. And I realized that that is actually the feminine energy at play. There was no agenda, there was no expectation. We were living in the moment, we were enjoying our surroundings, and we were just being. And it's a long time since I've done something like that. And I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed it. So for me, as I am the man in my life, I need to do more of that kind of activity, because the more you can relax and enjoy, the more open you become to receiving your surroundings and receiving from other people also.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I've had several instances, I'm going to say 4 instances in the last few days where I was very vulnerable and I spoke to complete strangers and had a really incredible conversation. In fact, 3 of the encounters, we exchanged phone numbers and we're going to be looking to get together and do some things. So that was being vulnerable and it actually worked out really well.
And that's wonderful. And isn't that a beautiful lesson for you, Dr. Jacalyn? Because I know how much of a doer you are. But it's taken, a loss for you to actually get there.
That's true.
And if you can just try and practice that more on a daily basis, life also becomes easier because you're not fighting all the time to stay above board, and life becomes a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit lighter, I think, as well.
Definitely lighter, because the
So,
feminine energy is lighter.
yes, definitely is. So, for people who are still confused and they're saying, okay, can you give us some behavior traits of someone who's in a masculine energy, whether it's a woman or a man, and then the same for feminine energy? What kind of behaviors are people demonstrating?
The behaviors would be very forceful, very dictatorial, very powerful, very even derogatory or very demanding, very in your face, confident. These are all masculine traits. Whereas the feminine energy will stand back and listen more, nod her head, smile. You know, so there's a big difference between the two. But you have to understand how to get the best out of someone and what energy will work the best at any given time. And if you're dealing with a man, you'll always, always get the most out of him in your feminine energy.
And for people who are in relationships, whether it's partners or it could be friends, colleagues, family, when people start to have an argument or voices start to escalate, is that masculine energy or it's not really specific to one or the other?
Yeah, it's masculine energy because it's the dominant energy, it's the forceful energy. The feminine energy is the reasoning. She'll reason, she'll ask questions. She won't be what's the word? She won't be aggressive or threatening. Threatening is very masculine energy. And a lot of women do this, especially in business. I did a podcast last week on older women and younger men. And the two women I had on were both businesswomen in their 50s. And they'd both been married to younger men. And one of them was married to a sergeant major, but she also worked in the financial world where it was completely male dominant. So she found herself competing with the men. So it makes a woman very masculine. So when she steps out of the workplace, she's just on autopilot. So she keeps that energy in her private life as well, which is really of detriment.
You know, it's interesting from a follow-up of what you just said. I've seen numerous times in my life where there is someone who's threatening and then they start crying. So it's like, I feel like they start in masculine energy and then they go to female energy. Is that right?
Yeah, men hate to see a woman cry. It makes them very uncomfortable. And crying is actually the quickest way to get what you want. Because no man likes to see a woman crying. It's like, oh, no, don't cry, don't cry. What do you need? I'll give you anything. Just please stop crying, you know?
But isn't that manipulation?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're doing it deliberately, then yes, it's absolute manipulation. But it's the quickest way to get what you want. Nobody wants to see a crying woman.
Now, something I just want to add, because it's the state of our world right now, is that obviously there are some people who don't identify as male or female. How does the masculine and feminine energy differ in those cases?
Same. It's the same. There's always, no matter what gender you are or what you want to call yourself, there is always masculine, feminine energy at play. It's a personality thing. It's an inner trait that cannot be eradicated no matter what.
Okay, that makes good sense. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Now, can we use the masculine energy to our advantage outside of work? So, for example, I'm thinking for me personally, when I go to work out at my place that I love, Solid Core, I feel like I'm definitely in my masculine energy. I'm doing push-ups. I'm like a crazy person. I don't feel feminine at all, and I need that masculine energy to help get me stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, as you know, I've been a big gym fanatic as well for as long as you have. And women in the gym are definitely driving a bit more of the masculine, because what we should be doing as women, or if we want to be feminine as women, we should be doing yoga and Pilates and stretching. That's feminine. Weight training is very masculine. HIIT training, RPM, you know, all these extreme sports. This is all masculine energy.
Yeah, we had one of your friends on as a guest, and I've been following her, and she's doing some serious weight training. And to me, but the interesting thing is she's dancing around first, and then she's doing. So I feel like she's in the feminine, and then switching to the masculine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Dawn's training program. I'm on my 3rd week now for menopausal woman, and it's heavy lifting, low reps. So it's powerlifting, in a word. That's what it is. So what it's doing is it's kickstarting your estrogen as if it was working again. So you really have to push your body to the limit. So it's been very interesting because I could lift a lot heavier than I thought I could. And it's really fascinating how you can push your body like that and still be okay at the end of it. But you have to drive in the masculine to do that.
Yeah, it's true. Recently, I had to go with a contractor to one of these big box stores that sells things for the home, and I was in a dress. I had a show to do, and I was all dressed up. I was the dress, but I had on my really nice glitter sneakers. And the person asked me to go and get one of those flatbed carts because it was on the opposite side of the store, and this person was having challenges walking. So I got it and brought it back, and then I had to actually help get this huge box onto the flatbed and then get it into his truck and then take it off the truck. And he said, you're a lot stronger than I am. So in that case, it worked out that it was a good thing. But in many cases, a guy's intimidated by that. And I've been told many times in my life, you're really muscular. It would be nice if you didn't have as many muscles because I'm not as muscular as you. So I like being with someone who's really in great shape because then I don't have to hear that. But some men are intimidated by women who lift weights.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's interesting because you would imagine fit men want to be with fit women, but there's so many times I see fit men with out of shape women. And a lot of men will comment to me that they like a woman to be soft. She's supposed to be soft. She's supposed to be feminine. So it's quite interesting, actually. Yeah. Perception.
But it's also interesting when you see a woman who's, a bodybuilder, she's a big woman, she's in great shape. Many times you'll see her with a tall, thin man who doesn't have any muscles. So I guess it's role reversal.
Yeah, I've never really understood that. It's like I could never be with somebody that's not in shape. I just couldn't.
And do they have to be in better shape than you, or it doesn't really matter?
Yeah. Definitely better shape than me. Yes, definitely, I would say.
So I think that is a nice segue into dating younger men, because as as we all get older, everything is not exactly the way it used to be. And I think that goes for men and women, unless you're taking some type of supplements or hormone replacement, etc. So a younger man still has all of his testosterone, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, but older women match younger men because I think the sexual factor is that an older woman is much more at ease with her body and is more sexually open. And I think that energy matches a younger man more than it does a man her age or older.
So you
in
don't
my
think
experience.
you don't think men are intimidated by women who have experience and know exactly what they want, that they might not be able to deliver?
No, I think it really turns them on. I think it's intriguing. I think there's a lot of curiosity. I mean, I told you I've been having much attention from guys in their 20s and 30s. And it's like it's intriguing to them that somebody of my age can look the way I do. So they want that experience, I mean, obviously it's not a serious long-term interest. It's more of a sexual interest. But as an observer, it's been quite interesting to see the psychology behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I know in our last episode, we watched a video of a podcast interview you did with two gentlemen. And one of the key takeaways that I had was that they're not, at least these two gentlemen, they're not so consumed with if you have fat or you don't have fat, whereas we get so hung up about every little part of our body, and they look at the overall package and feel if there's chemistry or not. We're like, I can't believe this and I can't believe that. And
no, I think it was in the movie Eat, Pray, Love, and Julia Roberts says a man doesn't care. He just sees a naked body in front of him and that's enough for him. He's not scrutinizing you to the nth degree like we do for ourselves. And I think it's about embracing what you have. It's about being confident in your own skin and just owning your flaws, because nobody's perfect and perfectionism is boring anyway.
Yeah, that's true. There's nowhere to go from there. One thing I've also noticed is when I go to work out, typically there are more younger women. It could be 18, 21, 30. And women are showing more of their body parts than previously. And many of them are not model figures. So they have their midriff showing, and it might not be toned. It might be a big belly, and they're confident as can be. And I'm all covered up thinking to myself, I could never, no one's seeing this at all. So it is interesting, because I'm not sure if that's the feminine energy that, hey, I'm happy the way I am, and I'm wearing a shirt that's cut off so my stomach sticks out and let the world see it. Or is that more confidence driven by masculine energy?
It's a good question. I mean, I think it's an individual thing, I'm the same, by the way. I look at girls in the gym and I think, oh my God, cover yourself up. I'm very hypercritical because I always cover my backside and stuff like that, and I would never show my midriff. I think you get of a certain age, and unless it's tight, toned, and flat, I don't want to see it. Not on me, not on anyone else.
It's so funny because I was online at a store and there was a young woman in front of me. And, you can tell people's age approximately because of their skin, right? The skin, I think, is a big giveaway. You know that. And she had on this kind of overalls, but they were shorts and they had like the things that clipped here, and it just covered her butt cheek. I mean, I'm talking just covered it. And her legs were filled with cellulite. And I thought, that's amazing. Like, I actually was thinking, good for you. Good for you that you're that confident. Because I'd have on double pants. I'd have on Spanx.
Or the people that are just not aware at all of their body and they just don't care. I mean, when I see women like that, I think, oh my God, do you even have a mirror at home? I mean, I'm really a snob when it comes to that kind of thing, It's like, if it's not beautiful and perfect, I don't want to see skin anywhere.
But so is it possible that they have a better attitude than we have? Because we have so many rules for ourselves, and they're just like, hey, I'm letting it hang out. You like it? You don't? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think so. I think the more in shape you are, like us, the more critical you are of yourselves. And especially because I've been in aesthetics for 28 years, I'm hyper vigilant about myself and about others. But my friend said an amazing thing to me the other day. I mean, she's 10 years younger than me and she's got a beautiful body, beautiful skin. And she said to me, her husband left her for a girl that was 10 years younger than her. And she says, I don't care about these young girls. I don't feel that I'm in competition with them. I'm happy with the way I am. I'm proud of the way I look. And they can go and do what they like, but I do not compete with them. And I thought, that's a really healthy attitude to have, because it's a privilege to get old. And if you can look as good as us at our age, what more do you want? Like, what do you want,
Yeah, it's very true, because I think if you spend so much time obsessing over every little part of your body that's not exactly the way you want it to be, then you're causing yourself a ton of stress. And
Yeah.
that stress is no good.
No. And I realized lately that I've really lived my life like that. And you just have to accept yourself at some point. I mean, it's a privilege to get old, and you're never going to be as old as you are today, and you're never going to be as young as you are today. So it's about embracing every moment of life.
It's very true. Now, you have extensive experience with the skin. So it's really important, regardless of what energy you're in, to take care of your skin. And I know that you were just talking about the energy level of the person who's providing a service to you. So if you go for a service like a massage and you're in a negative frame of mind, I mean, I think a lot of times we go for a massage because we're so stressed out, or maybe from working out and we just need to relax. That energy is now going into that technician's hands, correct?
It is, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
energy passes through. You don't even have to be touching someone. You just need to be in their company, and there's always an exchange of energy happening. So yeah, and this is what I mean by therapists. They should be cleansing themselves between each and every client that they treat, because they are picking up a certain amount of energy from that person and transferring it onto the next person they work on. That's why I've always been super fussy about who treats me. And when I have the girls come and give me massage, I give them certain oils to put on their hands to cleanse them of anybody else's energy that they're carrying, because it is a real thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a real thing. And then they can actually leave their work and have that negative energy that they then are taking into a new environment.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Katrina, I would love for you to share with our audience the name of this program is different than this episode, but it's the Dating Chronicles. So,
Dating Chronicles with Katrina. So I've started doing podcasts. I've just completed my second one, and it's being edited as we speak. It will be released probably within the next week or so. And I have the third one in the works as well at the moment. I had a meeting. I'm going to hook up with a lady that is a dating coach, and we're going to do our podcast together. Her Instagram is Find Your Swan,
Swan,
and yeah,
Swan.
Swan, because swans only have one partner through their whole life.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
swans stick together. Yeah, they only have one mate.
That's a tough road for a swan. You know? I don't think that would work for me, and I don't think it would work for you. I don't want to speak for you, but
Yeah, I know.
are you a one swan person?
No, I think you have to grow and evolve together if you want to stay together. And that requires a lot of work, you know. So if you want to put in the work, it is absolutely possible. But most people don't, you know, this is a problem.
Well, I know we can't really discuss this at length today, but I think also with the Dating Chronicles with Katrina, there there are different chapters of dating in our lives, right? So to your point, some people are that swan and they stay with the person for the whole time. But others of us are divorced and we take our swan head out of the sand and we go looking around and going, I don't know if I want to swan up with anyone again or if I'm just going to go it alone. But you were talking about you've dated much younger men, and that's been an experience. So in future episodes, will you be talking about the various dating chapters of our lives?
Yes, I think that's a good topic. I mean, you know, what you want when you're in your 20s versus what you want in your 30s and then the 40s and the 50s, it's all very different through each decade as you grow and evolve yourself and have more and more experiences. So yeah, it's ever changing, ever evolving.
You know, it's interesting because I've thought this way for a long time, and I think people thought there was really something wrong with me, which I'm not saying there's not, but I still see people living this particular lifestyle, whereas you want to be with someone, but you don't want to be with them all the time. And you'd rather they have their own place, you have your place, and then you get together and then you go, bye, see you in a couple days. So is that something that you found with your clients, or is that just an anomaly?
No, I think it's very healthy to have time on your own. When you're in a long-term relationship, I think you are still individuals, and I think you still need to have your own space and your own interests that are different from you as a couple. And I think it makes you a lot more interesting also, and you have more things to talk about when you do come back together.
Yeah, it's true. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to live in a different space. That's what I'm
No.
advocating for.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's becoming more and more popular now, actually, that, especially as you get older, it's difficult to share your space, especially if you've been on your own for a long time. I mean, I genuinely don't know if I could live with a man full time. I mean, I like my own space. I have to have my own space. So it's a very good question.
Thank
I
you.
think the evolution of relationships is changing. I think the dichotomy of marriage is changing. I think it's an institute that is well run its course. And I think moving forward, there's going to be a lot more free-spirited relationships, open relationships, and that kind of thing in the future generations to come.
Maybe it'll be relationships without boundaries or relationships without rules. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think so, I think whatever works for you is fine.
Absolutely. Well, this has been another fun episode. Thank you very much. We do have your banner up, but for people who are really interested in contacting you, whether it's to date you or if it is to work with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you, Katrina? And who would you like to contact you?
I'm on Instagram every day. That's the most popular platform that I'm on. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and my email website is katrinavalente.com. That gives you all the information. And just anybody that's having problems in their relationships, having problems, healing parts of themselves. I think every relationship starts with you. So I think you should start with yourself, and then you can attract the right sort of mate into your life.
Very true. And how would you like people to contact you?
They can contact me through my website, katrinavalente.com.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Katrina Valente. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening, as I know you have some exciting plans and you'll have to come back and share with us.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, and you have a great day. All the best.
Bye for now.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for being here, whether you're watching or listening on the live or the replay. We do certainly appreciate you. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, you know what to do. Go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com or USA Global TV and Radio.com. We look forward to seeing you. Our next show is coming up shortly. Let's hear from a couple of our sponsors before we say goodbye. Stay where you are. We'll be back with Live, Learn, Teach and the British School of Excellence. Bye.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I found I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school. This class is the best. This is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you. Thank you, BSc.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.